Razavan for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm delighted to have with me on Zoom today, my man, the knowledge, Mr. Spencer Fearon. Spence, firstly, how are we doing? How's the family? Everyone good?
Everyone's good. How's things your end? How's your fast?
Everything's good, yeah. All is well. Meaning, keep yourself busy. Time goes quick. So I try not to sit around and look at the clock and when my fast is opening, etc. So.
Oh, that's the important thing. Alhamdulillah. I mean, that's important. So yeah.
Spence, last night, great night of boxing, some great fights we saw. Let's jump straight to the main event, Chisora-Parker. Built as a fight where it was, people were saying it's a last chance maybe for Derek to showcase himself at that level, the pay-per-view level, etc. Let's talk about the first round. We knew Derek is going to come forward. We know that's inevitable. But did you expect him to drop Parker within 10 seconds?
You know what? I was speaking to one of my really good mates, Rob Stanley, and like every fight that comes out, I mean, he comes to me for my opinion. He likes to have a little flutter, and it was a really hard fight to call because of the performance that Parker put in against Farr. And for me, to be honest, Derek Chisora won that fight. Derek Chisora should have got the nod. He didn't get the nod. Maybe it's because they're so used to seeing like Derek Chisora be the, bridesmaid and not the bride. You know what I mean? So, my heart goes out. My heart goes out to Derek Chisora. I really, really did think they won the fight, especially in the knockdown, 10-8 round, the applied pressure that he was putting on. I thought Derek Chisora won the fight. And that is the truth. So my heart goes out to Derek because he should have got the nod. It was a split decision. Even more so, he should have got the nod. He didn't get the nod, and that's sad.
Spence, we all know Derek comes forward, but did you expect Parker to come on a much stronger in the second half of the fight? We know he won probably 2 or 3 rounds convincingly, probably 7, 8, 9, or 8, 9, 10. I can't remember. But did you expect him to showcase a lot more, being the younger, fresher fighter?
Yeah, I did, but that's nothing against Parker. That's more to do with, we got to give credit to Derek Chisora, the condition that he came in. That's the lightest he's been in 2 years, right? So Derek came in good condition. He looked cut, and I like the way how he applied the pressure, and how he threw caution to the wind. How he was coming over the overhand rights, the shots that he was throwing in there as well. Like certain times he was throwing shots to the hip. You know what I mean? It did slap Parker's feet because Parker's got very, very good feet. And yeah, there was no major change in Derek Chisora bar his attitude, because you know what you're gonna get with Derek. When Derek turns, when you're gonna get to see a fight, you're gonna see a fight. And he shouldn't retire. And like he said, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to carry on, and quite rightly so, he should carry on. But I don't know who next for him to go and fight. But we've got to call it fairly. Derek, I've watched a lot of boxing, right? A lot of boxing, and in my eyes, Derek Chisora should have got a nod, and that's that.
Obviously, Derek did an interview afterwards where he wasn't happy, and he referred back to the Usyk fight where I didn't get the decision. I didn't get the decision now. Dylan White put a video out saying it was a robbery. Was it a robbery?
You know what? We're going to get these things. We're in the middle of a pandemic, right? And what's the key things when you leave your house? What are you wearing? You're wearing a mask. That's why we're seeing so many robberies now, because everyone's masked up. We don't even know. You know what I mean? So, you know what? I'm not going to scream and say it was a robbery, because in times it was close. It was close, because I can understand, like, when you're at a fight, you've been to fights. When you're at a fight, watching a fight, and when you're watching in your house, 2 different things. Even worse is when you're at a fight, you come home and you watch it in the morning, you're watching from a different angle, right? So you got to go by your first opinion. What was your first opinion? First opinion was that the judges saw it on a split decision, and the judges went in the favor of Joseph Parker, right? The thing for me was that who was doing the applied pressure. Derek Chisora is never going to be going like double jab, right hand, like proper right hand, straight right hand. He doesn't throw straight right hands. Yeah, I remember ages ago I said Derek Chisora is Blanca from Street Fighter, right? Yeah. To all you young cats out there who don't know Street Fighter, come on, man. Right? One of the greatest games of all time from Capcom, right? So, yeah, I would say like it's what you prefer. Now, what I prefer may not be what you prefer. That's why we have 3 judges. And unfortunately, they didn't vote Derek Chisora's way. But I don't think he should quit. I think Eddie Hearn was talking about, yeah, we'll get a rematch. Maybe he's just saying it to get Derek out of his face. I don't know. But hopefully that they could be a rematch and we see where he goes. But I think it's also to the fact of like markability, right? It's harder to sell Derek Chisora for a world title, right, than it is to sell Joseph Parker for a world title. Let's be real. And I think maybe that air of pressure is on the judges' shoulders as well. Let's be real. As much as we're saying, well, judges can go on and say, we're going to be unbiased, we're going to be blinkered, right? It's very difficult with human beings. Very difficult not to get blinked. It's very difficult not to be emotionally drawn in as well and stuff like that. So my heart goes out to Derek Chisora. I did think that he won the fight. I'm not going to scream robbery. I just thought he won the fight.
Just a note on Joseph Parker. We know he teamed up with Andy Lee. They only had around 6, 7, 8 weeks of time working together. Andy said during the fight week that I didn't want to change a lot. I wanted to kind of work more on that right hand. Did you see anything different in Joe? Did he showcase new skills?
No, nothing. And let me tell you this. Guys who I could turn around and say, look, no boxing, Andy Lee, I salute at you. He knows the game. He does know the game. And he spent a lot of time with Emmanuel Stewart, so something must have rubbed off on him, right? And in boxing, we get loads of guys who come and they're trainers. You know what I mean? That means like they could do an NDQ in personal fitness, right? But they're not teachers of the sport. I'm just keeping this thing 100, right? There are not many teachers in boxing anymore. There ain't. The artistry of teaching someone and someone being learned enough to then teach somebody this game, it's kind of dying. I believe that Andy Lee can teach. Do you know what I mean? I believe Andy Lee's a good guy as well. But Andy Lee can teach. You're not going to have that amount of time. It takes 4 or 5 fights for you to properly drill with your trainer. So Andy Lee's not being wrong by saying, I'm not trying to change that much. He's trying to add. But I think Andy Lee in his heart say, we was lucky here, you know? And he's a very honest guy, right? But even the fact of Derek Chisora having Buddy McGurk in the corner, bro, that's a waste of money. What's Buddy McGurk going to show you for this? I remember I got a phone call from Derek a few weeks ago. He said, I'll wait till you see the announcement who I got in my corner. I was like, all right, cool. Wait till you got. I said, bro, I've already heard that you're working with Buddy McGurk. Buddy McGurk, as a fighter, superb. And not only that, as a historian of the sport, Buddy McGurk's A1. I remember Buddy McGurk beating Frankie Warren for the IBF light welterweight title, or super lightweight now. I remember him moving up and beating Simon Brown for the WBC title. Buddy McGurk can fight, but I don't know whether or not Buddy McGurk can his fighting abilities of how he used to fight, if he can actually pass it on to a fighter. I'm not too sure. And you having that short space of time to say you're working with a fighter, what's your resume with working with heavyweight fighters? World-class heavyweight fighters. What's your resume? The resume is not really there for you working with top-tier heavyweight fighters. You've had your successes in the lower weights. I know you did a lot of work with Matthew Macklin back in the day as well. But what's your, I mean, it's different. Heavyweight boxing different. You know what I mean? So if he was just brought in to pinpoint certain things then yeah, great. Because it's Ruben Tobias who was like the chief second in there, right? And I'm not dissing Ruben Tobias, right? But like I said, there's trainers and there's teachers. You know what I mean? I'm just keeping this thing 100, mate.
Spence, let's talk about a fight that people said should have really been the main event. The ladies, Katie Taylor, the undisputed champion, versus Natasha Jonas. An unbelievable exposure to women's boxing for the masses. Amazing 10 rounds.
Stop. Let's stop calling it women's boxing and men's. Let's cut that out. That is boxing. And that was boxing at its highest level that we saw yesterday. Natasha Jonas is a G. Katie Taylor is a G. Katie Taylor is pound for pound one of the best fighters in the whole world, male or female. right? And Natasha Jonas going in there with a loss on her record and a draw on her record, right? Fought fantastically well. The skills demonstrated in there, I was like, right? So let's, like, when we keep on saying like this advert for women's boxing, the reason why I can say that, because I, 20 years ago, wasn't an advocate of female boxing at all. I hated it. You know what I mean? Reason being is because like we just had one really good person who could just batter everybody. Now we're getting competitive fights. We're getting skilled technicians in here now. And I love the artistry of boxing. And when it's been technically exposed, like how we saw yesterday, then I have to salute both females. An excellent, excellent fight. The right person did win the fight. It wasn't robbery. The right person did win the fight. But you know what? Natasha Jonas will come back again. And I guarantee you, as long as she gets the opportunity, she's going to be a world champion. And obviously she's going to get the opportunity because we've like the best management team in the world, MTK Global. So she's going to become a world champion.
Also saw the return of Chris Eubank Jr. Last time he fought in the UK was obviously James DeGale. I think he fought, Korobov back in America, which lasted 1 or 2 rounds. He's teamed up with Roy Jones Jr. Bit of a strange fight. What were your thoughts?
My thoughts. What were your thoughts when you watched that? Seriously, that for what I know, what Chris Eubank Jr. can do, that was disappointing. Right? And that's only because I know what he can do. So me watching him against Marcus Morrison, you know what I mean? That was disappointing. People ask my opinion on that fight. I said that fight should be over within 5 rounds. And this is no disrespect to Marcus Morrison. Lovely kid. Lovely, lovely kid. Right? But levels in this game. Chris Eubank Jr., I can't be calling on no, you want to fight Charlo? You could have fight Charlo on that performance. I'm being real. You could not fight Charlo on that performance. You couldn't fight Golovkin on that performance. Right? So maybe it was, and I'm going to give you a pass because you've been out for a hot minute. First time with Roy Jones. Maybe it's a case of because you've had so many different trainers where you've changed trainers, and you haven't properly gelled with somebody. But one thing I do know is that you gel with Roy Jones because you respect Roy Jones. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You respect Roy Jones. I'm not gonna say like Roy Jones is a good trainer. I don't know because after the proof's gonna be in the pudding, right? I don't know whether Roy Jones is a good trainer. What I do know is that Roy Jones is one of the greatest fighters of all time, right? Even though tail end of his career, he kind of spoiled his legacy. But I don't care about that because I know the Roy Jones that I would have to get up and go and watch. Roy Jones was absolutely ridiculously, fantastically gifted, right? And he would expose his greatness of his gifts to the world when he would go and fight. Roy Jones is absolutely fantastic.
Spencer,
but as a trainer, I don't know.
So, you know, when you say you were disappointed, what aspects of the performance were you disappointed? The fact that Chris could have got him out, I think it was the second round, and he didn't jump on him. What aspects?
No. Yeah, it's like he lumbered in there. There's times where he was in the fight, he switch off, and then he want to turn it on in like the last 30 seconds of the end of the round. Those things I'm saying that for me was disappointed. I'm being real. I paid $24.99 or something, so I was disappointed.
When he was asked
because I only know that he can do better. If I didn't believe that he could do better, then I wouldn't be. I would say, hey, yeah, but no, I believe that he could do better than that. And when you're paying $24.99, right? Show me something, man.
A man you know well as well, Craig Richards, tried to take that belt off Dmitry Bivol, put in a great, valiant performance. Spence, I just want to go to the scorecards first. How did you score the fight?
I gave it to Bivol. I had it 8-4. You know what I mean? Yeah, I had it 8-4 in Bivol's favor. When I was watching it live yesterday, we did it on a fight along, me and Tundi, and I fell asleep on the fight along. I was so tired, like the fast pace, so I fell asleep.
I've seen the screen.
Bro, I'm serious. Oh, you said, yeah, bro, I fell asleep. Bro, I fell asleep, man. After that, my fast, not even that. It's like my little daughter, like she can reach the thermostat to turn, so she turned the heating on. So in my front room, it was like a sauna in it. I was thinking, what is it? I fell asleep, bro. I woke back up, but no. I thought similar to when Craig fought Frank Buglioni in, what was that, 2017? Yeah. On the undercard of Joshua Takam, right? In Wales. I think it's the same thing in this fight here, where he came second best, but it improved him. It prepared him. I think this, because he didn't do enough in there, right? He didn't. And when a fight becomes very cerebral, where it's a thinking fight, and it was an excellent fight to watch, when it becomes a thinking fight, it's the man that thinks best wins, or the man that's been in those situations of experience wins. And Bivol's been in there. Bivol's got good names. I mean, Shalambe win, that's a very good win for him. You know what I mean? The Smith win, very, very good win for him. So you look, and now Smith's got a version of a world title now. So there was levels, and there was nothing that was preparing Craig Richards to go into this fight at a level of you're being in with the WBA champ, who some say is the best light heavyweight in the world, even though Bivol's been out for a little bit. And I like Bivol's mannerism as well. Good, you know what I mean? Nice man. Good human being. Deserves to win the fight. When I was watching it, was being completely biased towards Craig Richards. And we called it, even though we thought he lost, but we called it a lot closer. But going back and watching it again, I have to, I mean, I got to be real. So I had it, was it 116, 112 to Bivol.
Okay, all right, Spence. I'm going to catch up with you during the week sometime. Obviously, big fight week in Dallas, Canelo versus Saunders. So we'll leave that for a separate video, because obviously it'll be a lot longer. We'll break that fight down. But I appreciate you jumping on, give me a little bit of time. Enjoy the rest of the bank holiday weekend.
Listen to me, absolute honor, absolute pleasure. Tell everyone, keep on spreading love, man. That is it. That's the key. Keep on spreading love and be happy. You know what I mean? Remember that your happiness is not a destination, it's a way of life. Peace, 2 fingers, I'm out. Take care. Assalamu alaikum, all my Muslim brothers and sisters.
Spencer Fearon, IFL TV, thank you very much.